Yeah, today, in a fairly short 2 errands, it was challenging being with the person that I share the most laughs here with, the person that gave me a ride to a medical appointment in Terrace. I don't think I want to do that again. I would have wanted to get in my motorhome, but can't get the codes. Did a quick little preliminary tests to see what could be at fault. I don't know yet. I don't kind of care. Well, that's not an okay thing to say. But I have other priorities right now. I wish I could have gone crying for about a week in Hazelton camping. That's pretty quiet this time of year, but still has electricity, and now, compared to last time, functioning showers and Wi-Fi. So I would have liked to go there because I kind of miss crying and I don't want to do it here. And it would have been a nice adventure for both of us. So I can't use my motorcycle, I can't use my motorhome, and I accidentally locked my bicycle in the storage, so I'll have to break the lock but buy another one first. So, I mean, should I go to the choir tonight? And in a way, if the lady at the library asks me, because she goes with her daughter, I say, well, I don't have anybody to carpool with, and I also hesitate to donate so much of my time, and supposedly they could use more male singers like baritone, but to not be appreciated already by this community, right? I know that, they would be impressed. Hey, I know this guy, Martin. By the time we did a few shows, maybe, I don't know if it would be like the first one would be Christmas time or I don't know. But the thing is it'd be upsetting to just invest my time, right? But I could go and just see what kind of music it is. And the thing is, it'd be too little too late, right? There'd be too many triggers, there's too many reasons to leave, except I can't leave. So if ICBC doesn't get back to me soon, I don't know if they're using the excuse, we're waiting to see that you find the paperwork you signed for your insurance. You don't need to wait for this. I gave you so much data that you should be working on this. I'm going to change my bank account and just make sure they don't charge insurance. I can't sell my vehicles. I got no buyers, and I can't use them. And I'm paying more than $100 a month on a budget that is very limited, that is not enough to live on, and that it can't even allow me to get internet here, to maybe do tutoring online if I wanted to pursue that. And because it'd be like I'd want to do it as an independent. I mean, I'd have to get a whole website thing started, and it's like, oh man, what if I make income with customers away from here? Then still I'd be living here. Again, like if I won the lottery, I'm not buying a house here. You don't buy a house where you don't live. You got to buy a house where you're certain that you'll be happy with that community. There's really nothing here. Everything's been burned, really. And people say, well, you did some things. Yes, but I did some things to say I'm not happy with this. So again, they burn things for an Homo sapien as much, right? So, do they deserve me? No, but I mean, it's not fair. Like my life partner is not being challenged a lot during some of the younger years, and it reminds me of my parents probably thinking they did great finding a cheap babysitter when my brother started kindergarten a year before me, but I'm stuck in a house where there's no other kids, and I got one house thing to play with as toys with a couple of cars with it all day, listening to the same crappy radio station all day. La balade des gens heureux. Well, I'm never going to be gens heureux living among Quebecers, and people might say, Quebec, come visit us, somebody passed away, whatever. First of all, it'd be so hard for me and my life partner, and I can't afford it. And even if you send me money, I don't want to be there anymore. I don't have family there because you don't get treated the way I was by employers or by medical care providers and not have my family stand up for me at all. And in fact, defend them. I say, stop with your negativity because I have to use that hospital or whatever. Or your niece works for that employer now. There's nothing we have in common, that I'm a grown-up man that's become a culture affair to compensate for everybody else. So it's not okay. So again, there's 2 beards. Often in the fall, or maybe even Christmas, I'll have my Jonathan Livingston Seagull. If you're ready for your culture repairing medicine, you get the Doctor of Humanics with good bedside manner, good cop. And then, it's the beard of a lifelong learner, Jonathan Livingston Seagull. But then, nothing happens. So I don't know. I didn't get a call, so the senior center might have sent an email after the meeting. I don't know what time the meeting is, and say, Martin, we're going to pass maybe or something. And then I'll get my poster off the wall. It's been there, 13 months or more, and not one tutoring student, except that one young lady there who seems to have some weird shyness, social skills, was going to tutor a young girl. that a mom knows. Maybe they know each other, and it's okay. It's okay. But it's just, man, there are parents seeking tutors, and I don't get called. And there's this thing called APE that's advertising all the time on Facebook, and they didn't answer me when I contacted them a week ago. So, it's not okay for me to be abused in this way. And then people still think that I should be nicer or more understanding or not a jerk. They don't understand, action and consequences and effect. If you act a certain way, I might not have good things to say about you. You can not say good things about me if you want, but I'm still not going to insult people or treat them disrespectfully like people do with me, and I'm still not going to do things behind closed doors. I'll face people directly and say that's not okay. So that means the only thing you get now is the captain of accountability again. And this beard, I gave it a French name, is La Redevabilité du Carcajou. So it's kind of a Wolverine beard, but the Wolverine that has become more mature, that is actually, I'm not violent myself, but Wolverine has become somebody that is really good about right and wrong and honor and things like that. And accountability in a lot of ways, including being hard on himself when he makes mistakes. Even sometimes in the storylines, he wasn't at fault. I'd like to apologize for things that I might have done that are unfair, but they have to be brought to my attention that they really were unfair. That means I must have been wrong about something. And again, when I hear BCGEU saying they want more money for their staff who can barely live, and it's in big part because of BCGEU, but also the college and the First Nations elites. But the BCGEU wasn't there for me for those exact reasons. So it's kind of hard to hear this crap on the news, right? So it's very possible I'll remove my tutoring poster and, kind of give up on income again. I can't sell stuff, but if I can't earn income, I have to cut my expenses. So people might say, you can't legally not have insurance. But I can't also be victimized without finding ways to minimize my victimization. So if Northern Health calls me back, say, Martin, we've dug into your file. You have some terminal illnesses. That's good news. That's good news, because when you die, you're not needing to make money in a society where that's all the primates do. Jane Goodall died. Okay, and it made me think, should I challenge primatologists on debates about the human condition? Because if they're primatologists, they should know a little bit about their own species, and yet they won't, and they'll do crappy, and they'll suffer from human chauvinism, and they'll be sad. The lady on CBC said the word ape, which doesn't apply to chimpanzees. Wait, it does. Chimpanzees, orangutans, gorillas, and us, the 4 great apes. Of course, she did great things in the sense that she put herself at risk to collect data. She went against the norm, right, and being female in doing this. And of course, the thing I criticize her the most about is her religious and obsessive human chauvinism, right, the false hope that she sold, and also her and the other lady that's still associated with the BC University didn't really advocate for the other lady that was killed because of the advocacy she did with gorillas, because probably they don't agree she should have been that hard on the advocacy part, which again is missing the point, right? We're missing the point about our villainy as primates, and it's one of the reasons that the one that's still alive that studied orangutans, and that Jane Goodall, who now passed away, didn't get the respect from me that they could have earned if they really advocated more to find a killer and get consequences for their peer who was murdered related to advocating for gorillas. She couldn't count on her own female peers, and I think that is something that should also be talked about in the legacy of Jane Goodall, and when she passes away, the legacy of the other lady, I can't remember her name, who studied orangutans. La redevabilité du Carcajou.